These founders are building a culturally rooted brand that elevates your typical matcha using bold Afghan flavors. Now, the question is, will they walk away with the $5,000? I don't know. You decide. My name is Cynthia Mwansa.
My name is Wangari Maranga.
And I'm Gary Barquette.
And this is Open Invite.
My name is Rasma.
And I'm Sarah.
And together we're Sabz Matcha. Sabz Matcha, we are first-gen Afghan-Americans, children of immigrants who started Sabz Matcha about a year ago. We wanted to introduce Afghan culture into the greater matcha Seattle scene. So we're super excited to be here today and talk about what Sabz Matcha has to offer.
Yeah, so a little bit behind our name, Sabz. So Sabz in our language, Dari, means green. And for us, it's more than just a color. Green in our culture also means peace, renewal, growth, all that good stuff. So we just thought, what better way to start our business than with naming it something positive and meaningful.
And a funny fact is we were actually on a walk at Green Lake when we came up with Sabz Matcha. So it just feels very intertwined and meant to be for us. One of our other goals for Sabz Matcha is to bring Afghan culture into the cafe space. There's no Afghan representation, or at least at the time that we started, in the cafe space. Afghan flavors were not represented at all. So we wanted to bring our unique twist to something so popular like matcha.
Yeah, so a little bit about behind the reason why we're on the show is one, first and foremost, we believe that God presented us this opportunity and we believe it could have come at a more better time. I think this was kind of like the next step that we needed to kind of get more exposure behind what we are and what our business entails. And another reason is, to get that dream matcha cart that we've been wanting, and
which is super expensive. So we're really excited about that. And we're also looking to cut our costs a little bit. Right now, we've been kind of ordering things kind of like case-to-case basis, and we aren't able to do the wholesale orders that we want to do just because we don't have that kind of budget to invest in that quite yet. We've been doing great. It's been profitable so far this past year, but I think we can do even more to hopefully save up to open our storefront.
Wonderful. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for being here.
We're so happy to be here.
Yes, no, thank you. We're excited. And, one of the things that I shared with you prior to us getting started was that I am not a matcha girly. So with that said, I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about what you do and also hopefully tasting some of your beautiful blends. Yeah. Well, just to get us started, right? You shared a little bit about, what inspired you to actually begin your business. But tell us a little bit more about who you guys are as individuals and how that actually funnels into the work that you're doing.
I guess I will start. So my actual career is I'm a dental hygienist. So I talk to a lot of people, and some feedback that I got from certain people, which was really interesting for me, was that they didn't really know where Afghanistan was on a map. And I was like, well, that's very interesting. And then I would tell them about how we started our matcha pop-up cart, and they were so surprised that we even have like Afghan flavors to offer and that perspective on matcha. But outside of that, I personally started drinking matcha in 2018. It was before it was all hyped up, and I would make it at home like the traditional way, whisking it. I did a lot of research on the different types of matcha, and I've tried a bunch of matchas. So using kind of like my at-home cafe, it inspired now this business and some of the flavor profiles that we have to offer. So kind of a matcha drinker, a dental hygienist. Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, to kind of go off of that, I've always been really passionate about like my culture, and also I've been also a matcha drinker for like the past 5 years, and it's just something that I kind of been passionate about. Like one of my hobbies, like even with Rasma, was like cafe hopping and just trying out different matcha places. And sometimes it would be a hit or miss, especially back in the day when like matcha wasn't like getting all the hype and craze that it is now. It was just something that I was like, what about thinking about like mixing two things that I love and are passionate about the most, which is my culture and matcha.
Yeah.
And this is what kind of led us to this idea and behind our business.
We have some pretty unique flavors with Afghan culture. I don't know if you guys have ever tried Afghan food, but it has its own flavor profile. It's very unique. It's like in the heart of Asia. It's a mix of a bunch of different places. So we just wanted to showcase that through our business. And I have a very entrepreneur mind, so I've always wanted to have a business, and this is also my creative outlet. So it's just a bunch of everything. It's great.
I'm curious, so Afghan flavors, that's been something that's been coming up, and it seems to carry a lot of weight to what you guys do, and even what kind of sets you apart or makes you different than a lot of people in that matcha industry, right? But can you give us some more details on what does that really entail? What does matcha or Afghan flavors mean?
Then took my question.
It's a really good
thinking
question.
about that,
What
yeah.
else tasting?
I'm intrigued. Yeah,
What
I'm
are we
intrigued.
tasting for?
So you'll find out soon. We do have a drink that is our most popular drink that we're going to have you guys try in a bit. But the main spice that we want to highlight is cardamom. It is a pretty popular spice amongst other cultures, but Afghans, I think what sets them apart is we use it in desserts. And we also drink green tea with cardamom like every night with like some nuts and raisins. Like that's our nightly routine.
It's a staple in our
household.
household.
Yes, exactly. So cardamom is kind of in almost every dessert. And then we eventually are playing around with some flavors inspired by some of our desserts. So another flavor that we offer is like a sweet and salty one that's inspired by a dessert called kulche shor, which is like a sweet and salty cookie. And we want to hopefully introduce rose as well, and like fernie, which is like a milk pudding flavored matcha too. So it's mostly cardamom right now, but there are some other desserts that we want to play off of in the future.
Sounds fancy.
Nice. Is it a flower? Is that what it actually is, or kind of?
It's a spice. It's like an aromatic spice.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Does it come from a flower?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good
That's a
question.
really good
Yeah, I was just
Like,
curious.
where does it come from? I mean, maybe.
We should look into that.
Yeah, we'll look because most spices come from like plants and flowers.
They do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should be.
Yeah. Let's say yes to that.
Yeah.
Actually, don't quote us. We don't.
You might be onto something.
So I'm really big on like branding, and I love the fact that Sabz is something that already it's like green matcha, right? There's this background story about Green Lake and all the different things is beautiful. But I guess my question is like, how are you building a brand that is going beyond the product itself? Like, what does that look like? I know that you're here because community is definitely somehow intertwined in the mix of that. So just kind of wanted you to speak on that.
Yes. Thank you. That's a really good question. Branding wise, for us, I think Afghan culture is like the highlight and staple of our brand. Afghanistan is a very misrepresented country in general. So we're trying to highlight Afghan culture, Afghan flavors, and hopefully even bring light to other local Afghan businesses like bakeries and restaurants and, just the stores that are available. And Afghan culture is not represented nearly enough, to me at least, in the cafe space. So we just want to make sure that we are out there and people know, like we get confused with like the Middle East, or people just don't really know what we have to offer. They don't know our cuisine. They don't know our culture at all. So a big part of our brand is putting Afghanistan out there. That's one of our big things. But also I think something really important to us is consistency. We would go to like some of our favorite cafes and coffee shops, and it just wouldn't taste the same every time, and that would just really bother me.
That's the thing.
It would just really bother me. So every recipe that we've made is consistent. It's like measured to a T. And we tested it for hours until we're like, okay, this tastes right.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And I'm curious even about your position in the matcha market, right? Because while your flavors sound like they're beautiful, right? Intentionally curated, lots of hours put into them, all that wonderful stuff. But really, matcha is very saturated. A lot of people are doing matcha. So in that, what are your strategies around really setting yourselves apart? Yes, with the Afghan flavors, but what else are you guys doing strategically and intentionally to make sure that you stand out?
I would say also our matcha, that's the quality of it is something that we wouldn't want to compromise on, just because matcha, like it also has that misconception that it could taste grassy or bitter.
I'm the one who says it tastes like grass.
And you're not wrong. Some matcha really does taste like grass. Yes.
So one of the big reasons, like one of the main focuses of our drink is to make sure the quality of it is also up there too. We don't want to just produce or give something out there that's like mid. So we have our matcha like ethically sourced from Japan.
Ceremonial grade.
Ceremonial grade.
High grade. We've been drinking it ourselves for years before we even introduced it, so we knew that it was a good product. And then the goal when we have our storefront is to introduce other communities all in one space, support other small businesses in the area, and also we want to bring Afghan pastries into our cafe too. Nice. So we have a lot of ideas for other ways to incorporate our culture into our cafe space. And something that's a little bit more competitive with us that we plan on doing is bringing like coffee, espresso-based drinks into our brand. Yes, because we know people are asking for espresso from us, and we're like, look, we have a lot of ideas.
Okay.
Gary's asking.
Triple shot, please. Sure.
Yeah. So we have a lot of really cool drink ideas already in our head for that. It's just investing in a really good espresso machine and learning the ins and outs. So I think that'll make us stand out too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do. I'm a big quality person myself, so that is something I can appreciate. Attention to detail and consistency matters.
Yes.
So you mentioned you guys have been in business for about a year now, and I'm curious, what have you been able to accomplish in that year? And then also, what have you learned about your business and or about yourselves within that year of doing business?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question. I love that.
Great.
So yeah, it's been a year. Our anniversary is actually, we're calling it our Sabz-anniversary. It's on June 6th, so we're so excited for that. Yeah, it's been such a uphill journey, honestly. Like from the beginning, we invested a lot into the business and we broke even profit-wise about a couple months later. So after that, it's just been like input, output. We make some pocket money here and there. We're trying to invest it back into the business. But it's been really profitable for us this last year. And for me, I think something that I learned is my social skills improved a lot because, you know, not only did I want to serve the drink, I wanted to connect to the person that was in front of me. I wanted to get to know them. I wanted to hear their feedback from like the matcha that they've had. I just liked knowing what was going on around me to see what we could tweak in our own business. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's been an incredible journey thus far. Like from every pop-ups that we've been popping up at, like the community has always been so welcoming and supportive. We try to go wherever the wind takes us, basically. You know, we've popped up like in Bellingham or down south, like in Tacoma, and just in our local communities. And it's been wonderful. And yeah, it's kind of go off what Rasma was saying. Social skills was definitely something. I'm naturally an introverted person, but just being able to be in the scene and like get to talk with our own customers and hear their feedback was a great experience. And just being able to it felt rewarding in a way, like just seeing them being able to try the drink and like giving just positive feedback has always been like a highlight of all of our events that we've had. And yeah, I would just say it's been very, very rewarding.
I want to put in a couple of bragging points.
Just
a couple. Most of our events, people have reached out to us to pop up at. So luckily, we haven't been spending too much time doing outreach ourselves, which has been a really nice thing. But I think if we incorporate that in the future, we'd get even more profit, even more exposure, even more events. So that's something that we haven't had to do so much, and we're super grateful for that. Like opportunities just pop up and come to us. Yeah. And we haven't received too much negative feedback on our drinks, to be honest. I always look out for it. In the beginning, I was a little bit like insecure about, you know, the flavors that we put out there, but we've maybe gotten one or two like things where they kind of weren't feeling the matcha, but in general, people just love how it tastes. So
that's good.
It's been nice to see.
So with that though, I'm curious about some challenges, right? Because you guys just highlighted all the beautifulness, if that's even a word, you know, with everything that you're doing. But as business owners, I'm sure there are challenges that you encounter or have been encountering. And, you know, you guys are obviously on this platform with a need, right?
Yes.
But what challenges have you guys had to navigate?
I would say a lot, like some of the events that we do have, a lot of them require like permits and just with like the health and safety aspect of it. And that would take a hit on our like own like profit and like the budget that we have. You know, just sometimes even just starting and just being at the event in general would be somewhere between $200 to $500. and just being able to like maybe, for example, break even for that day could have also been a challenge for us. So that's something where we thought like if we had like a storefront, we wouldn't always have to like cut back on these costs of like having temporary food permits for every event or paying vendor fees. It would just be something that we have of our own. So I would say that's one of the challenges that we do still face.
Yeah.
Just being a pop-up matcha cart.
Another challenge to add on to that is, you know, there's, like she said, there's a lot of investing that goes into appearing at these pop-ups, but also the prices have changed so much. Like there was a time where, I mean, we keep our matcha on the DL. We don't really talk about like what brand we use too much, but matcha brands were selling out. So a lot of these like pop-up carts, they were stressed out. I mean, at one point, our matcha company, they weren't shipping to the US. So we literally shipped it to a family. We try to make it work. So we shipped it to a family member in Canada, and we drove to Vancouver and we picked it up just to make sure we had enough for an event that we had coming up.
Dedication.
So, yes. We do try. We're both problem solvers, so we try our best to overcome our challenges and work through it. But yeah, the prices going up for things has been a little bit of a challenge. And like I mentioned earlier, not being able to do wholesale purchases because of where we're at financially, that just affects our profit margins even more. So just trying to balance that out right now has been a little bit of a challenge, but we're still in a good profit margin. So we're still happy with how much we make. So it's still a blessing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna take it back to the first time I listened to you guys' video that you guys entered in. These two loved it. Mind you, I'm a matcha girly, right? I am me down bad, vanilla matcha all day. But I, in the beginning, was having a problem trying to understand, like, where is this $5,000 going? You know, if they were to win, this is more than just, I want to get my own shop, I want to be, how is this helping the community? And how would you guys, how would like an investor see this business and say, I want to invest in this because this is something that's going to help people, not just alleviate some of our, matcha needs.
Of course.
Yeah. I want you to speak on that.
That is a good point. I mean, the $5,000, I think, so one way, right now we're working just like ourselves. So it's me, my cousin, and then also my brother who works for us for free. But the goal is, we've had some people reach out to us where they're like, hey, like, is there opportunities to work with you guys? And we do have certain events that are pretty busy, but we just try to make it work. So hopefully maybe employing some people to come and work for us, creating that job opportunity for them. But also we just want to do the highest quality of everything. So we want to hopefully go to Japan and see where our matcha is sourced and make sure that they're being treated properly and talk to them about the process and everything. So we just have a lot of like, I guess more like moral things that we want to look into and make sure that we're doing everything in the highest quality way possible. So that's one way that it would help us a lot. Yeah.
The job market is definitely tough.
Yes.
It's very
yes.
tough.
Yeah.
It's very, very
Yeah.
tough.
And even hiring your own would be incredible, having the Afghan, community being able to come and be, like, I could see that, having your own storefront.
That's the goal. That's the goal, yeah. With
Yeah.
our storefront, we would definitely probably mostly hire just Afghan refugees.
Wow.
There's a lot of kids, a lot of Afghans that came to Washington State in 2021 after the Taliban took over. So I know there's a lot of kids out there with maybe lack of direction, or they're trying to step their foot into things and they might not think something like working at a cafe or owning a cafe is possible, but we just want to make sure they know that it is possible, and we're children of immigrants too, and
we want to be able to present the opportunities and kind of give back to the community that did support us even from the start. It's just a way of kind of, being grateful and, giving back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, thank you for that. All right, ladies, is there anything else that you want folks to know about before we wrap you guys up?
I mean, I want to say we have a lot of ideas brewing.
Okay.
And we just need the support. So just stay tuned for what we have. We're always thinking about growing, and we want to take Sabz not just to like Washington, but even to a global scale, because I think what we have to offer would be really beneficial everywhere. So
Yeah, just kind of like Rasmus said earlier, put Afghanistan on the map and represent our culture, because it is really beautiful and it's a unique flavor profile. So we just want people to be able to enjoy that and
And
have
to try it.
Yeah, to try it. Well, before we actually, I just realized I want to try it. Do you guys have samples for us? I'm like, hold on, there's something
I've been
missing.
waiting for this all
Right.
morning. I'm
Right.
not gonna lie to you.
You have some samples for
Sabz
us, and
Matcha.
let's see if
Yeah.
I'm a
About matcha.
believer.
Yes,
No,
let's
no,
see.
no. Put
We
me
want the
on.
honest
Put me on.
opinions. I'm going to set up the drinks, and she'll
Okay.
talk a little bit about the drink itself. So
Sounds good.
I'll be doing that.
I have another question for her too. A really good question. Yeah.
So yeah, the drink that Rasmus is preparing right now, it's our signature drink. It's our top seller one. It's called the Matcha Afghani. It is inspired by one of our drinks in our culture. It's called sheer chai. So what it has is it's the matcha with a cardamom flavor, cold foam. And what you'll notice is that the cold foam is pink. And the reason why it's pink, a lot of people mistaken it for rose, but it's not actually like the rose that makes it pink. It's in our culture, sheer chai, it's pink, and I would think the way that that's made is like a chemical reaction with like baking soda and
Green tea.
green tea.
Yeah.
And that's what gives it like a pink color. So we kind of just wanted to incorporate that in our drink and give it a little pink hue. And then we do top it off with rose petals because Afghans just love to put rose on like every dessert.
So beautiful.
So-
Roses on everything.
We have to honor that.
Yeah. And that's basically, yeah, the inspiration behind our matcha Afghani.
Ooh.
Nice. I'm curious. We talked about it, but we didn't hit a specific number. How many pop-ups did you guys do in your first year, even if you have a rough idea?
First year, I mean,
Oh, man.
well, on average, I would say we do have like around 3 to 4 pop-ups each month.
Wow.
So I don't know if we do the math.
Almost every weekend.
That's
So
like
that would be
30,
like,
30
36
plus,
to
yeah.
40.
yeah,
30,
at least
40,
30.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some are 2 hours long. Some is like a 1 hour event. Some were like 6 hours over 2 days. So it's like just, yeah, it's a bunch.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been,
Yeah.
eventful year.
Do you guys have like a calendar or a place that you post where and when you're gonna be?
We do have an Instagram. It is on our sticker, on our
Beautiful.
cup.
Okay.
It's Sabz Matcha.
Yeah.
And that's where we like post either like monthly schedules that we have going on or like just by event. But yeah, we post our schedule on there. We try to be active too on TikTok as well.
Good.
But I feel like Instagram is like the main page where everyone will find us.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then is it fair to say that if you guys got the $5,000, you would spend a portion of it on a new cart? Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
our main. Yeah, that's our main.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so follow-up question to that. This will be my last question, but what would that cart do for your guys' business? How would that help you? How would that take it to the next level? What about that cart would really help you guys grow?
I feel like just having a more professional cart in a way would elevate our experience because we do represent our matcha as like a premium quality matcha because it honestly is great quality matcha. And to kind of like represent it in a better way, we would want to elevate our matcha cart that we have now. I mean, what we're working with right now also works. We have a good system going. Like every time a customer pops in, they kind of like look over and see what we're doing. They're like, "Oh, you guys have like a good system going on there." But yeah, with like a more, I would say, professional-looking matcha cart, it would just represent our brand a lot more.
It's also aesthetics is everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Premium product, premium cart, premium
Absolutely.
service.
Yes.
Well, yes,
Premium,
we just
premium.
need
You can say that,
aesthetics
yeah.
to match up. Like right now, we're happy, we're content with what we have, but
Yeah.
it's not the cutest setup ever. So we want to
know
make
it's
sure.
not the
Yeah, we know it's not the cutest. So we want our aesthetic cart that we can take with us to like more formal events like weddings or like bridal showers or birthday parties. So
Yeah.
a lot for the aesthetics, but also these really nice matcha carts, they have like a sink that's built in and like we need a system like that to make
Yes.
sure everything is up to health standards.
Efficiency, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we can maybe eventually get more like a mobile permit versus like these temporary event permits that we get
Yeah.
based on the event. We could do maybe something bigger so that we could just always have him pop up more places.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Wonderful. And tell us again what ingredients you're using.
Yes, so basically, so this is our matcha. We use 2 tablespoons of matcha, which is pretty standard. It's about 4 to 5 grams. We use whole milk, so if you guys are lactose intolerant, I'm sorry, but we do offer oat milk at our pop-ups. So that's what I have going on here. I like to add ice. I like to mix it so it stays cold throughout. Yeah. A lot of people skip that step, and that bothers me a lot. And on top of it, I'm going to be pouring our cardamom cold foam.
Bougie.
So it's a beautiful pink
Fancy.
flavor. Yes. The cardamom is concentrated in the cold foam, so you want to sip it from the lid so that you get the flavor of it, and then you can mix it in with your straw after. And then our base, it's like a vanilla matcha base, so it has a vanilla flavor. I know you said you like vanilla matcha, so this one's for you.
This is gonna be good. I can tell.
And then we top it off with some rose petals to make it nice and pretty, because like I said,
Fancy.
aesthetics are very
all morning
important.
for this.
Everyone wants to
morning.
Instagram their drink, you know. So.
And
So
all of our
matcha,
drinks.
matcha doesn't have caffeine in it, right?
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
See,
That's
I
why-
learn something new every day.
Yes,
I
it
learn something
does.
every day.
But it has L-theanine in it, so
like
that
a
is a very like
calming.
calming chemical. So when you drink it, you don't get that
Good for you,
anxiety
y'all.
spike. Yeah,
It doesn't give you the jitters. Like,
it doesn't give you the jitters, so you have a more
Good to know.
long-term energy flow.
Now,
versus
if you
like
could
a-
deliver him from his espresso addiction,
I'm
that
slowly
would
trying to
be
get away from it. But if you guys
Yes.
offer espresso, then hey,
Hey,
a
why
little
not
bit
do
of
both?
here and there, but hopefully we can make you a matcha fan after this. That's the goal.
Alrighty, folks. So y'all bear with us 2 seconds while we get our matcha. We'll be right back.
without the straw first.
Without the straw
I
first.
could deliver 2
my
matcha
God.
haters.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, 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 clink. Cheers.
Hold on now.
All right.
Thank
Oh,
you.
There we go.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right, you guys. Y'all know what I said. Grass. Now let's see. Where we
to the
land.
test.
Okay. I'm not gonna hold
That's
you.
sweet. I like that.
That tastes really
I already
good.
knew I was gonna like it. I already knew
Yeah,
I
we
was
not
gonna
worried
like
about
it.
you.
You're so aesthetically pleasing.
like-
It
Right.
had to
I kinda
match.
don't wanna
The
mess it
flavors
up,
had to
right?
match,
Really
you know?
good.
Mm-hmm. That foam is delicious. Now let's
Incredible.
mix it.
Like I could taste the rose
I
petals.
don't know if I
Yeah,
want to mix
yeah,
it.
you get a little
I
hint of
kinda
rose
like
in
the
there.
way
Yep.
They're edible.
Slow
Don't
it.
worry.
Want to eat some roses? Okay.
This is
Yeah, the
good.
matcha itself, we picked a matcha that's very smooth versus like the more
This is actually
astringent.
really smooth. And I'm
Yeah.
not just saying that because I'm saying this is actually really smooth.
Thank you.
We have someone in this room right now who knows how I feel about matcha. She's not on camera,
Like
but
matcha.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a ceremonial grade. Like, okay, so I know there's a lot of different types of ceremonial grades, right? So you guys get yours from Japan. So is that like that's the base? Like is that where matcha started? Like in
Yes.
Japan? Okay.
Yes, yes.
little history.
Matcha is from Japan.
Originally, yes.
Lots of matcha farms there. It's been a little oversaturated recently, but I think our brand, it's still, Japanese owned and ethically sourced. So,
Great job.
and it's smooth, which I really like, because a lot of matcha can be like bitter or astringent,
Yes, ma'am.
which some people like no hate, but we like our smooth. So.
Very
I
cool.
do too. Okay. Very delicious. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Tell people again where they can find you and all that wonderful
Yes,
stuff.
our Instagram is at Sabz Matcha, SABZ Matcha on Instagram. So you can follow us there. That's where we post
Our
the amazing
TikTok.
schedules that she puts together. So,
I try.
and TikTok too, Sabz
Same
Matcha.
thing, yeah. Sabz Matcha.
And look out for our pop-ups.
Perfect.
good.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. If you want to see Sabz Matcha walk away with the money at the end of this whole thing, then stay tuned till the end because we're going to have all the information for you about how to vote. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Open Invite. You guys just heard from Sabz Matcha, and now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that pitch. But first, I would love to hear a little bit more from my co-hosts about the work that they do with the Diversity Networking Group, as well as how that informs their perspective on the pitch. So, Wangari, Gary, thoughts?
I'll start. I guess first starting off with who I am. Hi, I'm Wangari Mrenga. I'm a creative strategist here in Seattle, Washington. I think the simplest way I could put that is just like I like to make things happen. So that's actually how I got connected to Gary about a year and a half ago now. I attended a diversity networking event and it was transformative, to say the least. And I just went up to him and I was like, hey, how can I be involved? You know, it was one of those things.
Say, come on.
Literally.
Come on.
It's like, let's go get a coffee and talk about it. And so, yeah, we've been working together for the last year and a half. And in many ways, I've seen him grow and transform, you know, Diversely into now even bring it onto a show like this. This is new steps for Diversely. The events that they run are once a year are going to be maybe a little bit more now that we're kind of going into 2026 and opening up different opportunities and doors for people. And I think my expertise and the visions that I see for people and also just the ones that they bring to me, I always am looking for ways to help make them happen. I love the idea of, you know, bringing a vision to life. I love being the person that is between the idea and the execution. And so I think that's, yeah, just a little bit about me. And yeah.
Well said. Well said. I'm Gary Kai. I'm an entrepreneur. I do a lot of different things. So,
Multidisciplinary.
Well, hello, Gary.
yeah,
Multi-passionate.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I do
Wearing
different
many hats.
things. You know, real estate. No, I've been a loan officer for 6 years. It's been
gonna say,
like my
okay, officer.
primary, not officer, loan officer. Help people get financed to buy homes. That's where I got inspired to start Diversely. I was seeing a lack of diversity in the professional networking space, and that's what originally started and sparked the idea of Diversely Networking, hence the name Diversely Networking, right? So a lot of intention behind that. We've been doing that for 4 years and going to continue to break into creating more avenues for entrepreneurs to be empowered. So at Diversely, we believe that human connection is like the ultimate power move. And as we continue to transition into this space where AI is taking over more jobs, trying to replace humans, companies are trying to grow them bottom line by replacing humans, right? I want to stay grounded in human connection. And I want to make sure Diversely really embodies that. So transitioning into Sabz Matcha, honestly, that was one of the things that stood out to me is that it's very culturally based. And then also you can tell they're passionate about what they do and they're people persons. However I say that, you know what I'm saying?
People.
Yeah, they're people. Rosma had mentioned when I had asked her about, you know, what has the business done for you or how have you grown in the business over the last year? She had brought up my social skills. That stood out to me. So, right.
is good.
And then again, Diversely, that kind of goes hand in hand with what we're all about is making sure people stay connected with other people. And she had brought that up.
Come on.
And then Sarah, same thing, actually. She said, I'm more of an introverted person, but this is forcing me to get out a little bit more, talk a little bit more. And the way she carried herself, you wouldn't have even known that, right? So like just the power of starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur, what it can do for you as a human. Right. So that's something I wanted to bring up and something that I thought they did really well was speak to the passion about their business. Something I would like to see them do more is talk about the business side of their business. And I kind of tried to start throwing some things out there like, well, how many events have you done? How much profit are you turning per event? Now, I know as a business owner, when you're starting off year one, you're just doing stuff.
I'm just, listen.
You know, like you're
listen,
making
every
stuff
day.
happen.
Every day I say, I just be doing stuff. Yeah.
Right? So that's something I would have loved to hear a little bit more of from them, but nonetheless, I know they're still very early in their journey. So that'll come. But they're getting a lot of great experience, and I think they have a lot of runway to continue to. I mean, they said they did 30 to 40 different pop-ups without even seeking to do a pop-up. Like they said, it's been coming to them, but also lets me know that they're very connected in one aspect or another, right? So those are some of the things that stood out to me initially.
No, that's good, and I'll speak to this from some of my expertise, right? So some of the work that I do, a pretty significant part of the work that I do is actually directly with the Afghan community. You know, like you, I wear many hats. And so my day job is actually for an organization that supports Afghan refugees and immigrants. And so in that, what I love about that community is that they're very much community centered, right? And to see that actually reflected in their work truly is important, you know? Like you, I do think that the business side of things for me is still, they're building, which I think is okay. That's why they were very clear. Our long-term plan, our long-term goals is to have our own actual storefront. Right now, we have this cart. We're going to add additional things. We're going to have the espresso, like, you know, what you like. We're going to have the desserts, etc. But in that, I think that I would have liked to hear a couple more tangible steps. How do we get to the point where you do have that espresso machine? How do we get to the point where now you're able to have these desserts? What do you need specifically to get to that point, right? But again, I think that they're in a good position right now, especially because they have the trust of the community, and they're outgoing, and they're really leveraging their network to build their work. So I think that's really, really important.
That's good. And I was, similarly business, but also impact and community and on purpose was like a big thing for me. And that's why I had to bring up the question. I was just like, I watched a video. I wasn't moved by what they were talking about initially. You know, I probably checked out after the first couple 2 minutes or so, just because I was like, oh, they just want the $5,000 to like get a storefront. And you guys followed through, watched the whole thing, and came excited. And I was like, I need to listen to these girls. I need to hear what they have to say, because clearly I'm missing something. So I hearing that, they wanted to actually help, Afghans in their community, create jobs. And I'm like, there it is. Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for somebody just here trying to get the $5,000 to open up a store. I'm sorry. There's matcha places everywhere. Like we talked about, it's very saturated. So, and me being a matcha girl, that says a lot. So, I would love to also have heard a little bit more on that. Like opening jobs up for their community. That's incredible. Like, what does that look like long term? Like, is it just, somebody needs a job. We need somebody to sweep up the place. We got you at the job. I'm like, what? I get that, and that's incredible. I also would love to know like what that would look like for years to come. And I think they're only like less than a year
just getting
in.
started.
And I'm just like, okay, these are big picture things, and of course they gotten almost their first year down in June. I'm like 11 months, and you guys have already. I'm like, those numbers are looking crazy, and so I can only imagine what would happen, in the next 5 years, the next 2 years, like in the next year even.
Right.
So,
and I think in speaking to big picture things, and this is something that I, as a business owner, have to think about for myself, right? Because oftentimes I'd be like, I just be doing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is okay, because I'm sure y'all have heard me say that.
For sure.
I just be doing stuff.
Yeah.
However, I do think that what's important for a business to have, especially foundationally, is that big picture thing actually mapped out, right? Because what it does is it gives you a roadmap to know the steps that you need to take. So that way, when you are encountering challenges, when you're getting certain feedback about what you need to change, need to adjust, etc., you have that big picture, and then you kind of work backwards, right? And so, yes, while it's important to just be doing stuff, however, having that big picture and then mapping that out clearly, I think is really, really important, especially for people who are just getting started.
I do
agree. Because if you're not careful, you're going to end up just doing stuff for
Literally,
a while.
for a long time.
Doing the same things over and over and wondering why
I know
you're not
too many people who still doing stuff 30
right?
years later.
The same stuff that they were doing when they first started,
the person
right?
that just was doing stuff.
Okay.
I know that. So that's definitely right. Yeah, they do need to have that goal, that that vision, the big picture written out. And so I really hope that's something that they work on here too.
I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they will.
The sky's the limit.
Oh my goodness, they're incredible. I will say this, I see them growing so much more beyond this because they have that human capital.
Yeah.
There is something they're so plugged in such a way, like they said, the business is just coming to them.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
You're 100%.
That's the hardest part. If you can bring people in who keep coming back to you.
Oh my.
Agreed. You got an engine. Now the engine is running.
Exactly.
Now it's where you go with that.
Exactly.
That comes next. So like, for any business owner, like the numbers, get into the numbers early is one of the best things you can do. I would say, like, it took me years to get to the point where like I had an accounting system. I actually knew my numbers. So I acknowledge that. And I know that's common for business owners. But on the other side of it, like for someone like them who's taking, like you can tell they're taking leaps and bounds to make progress. Even coming on the show, I think is an example of them wanting to get the word out there. And even the way they spoke to the business, still being so early in it, it says a lot about their ambition and who they are as individuals. But if I had like one nugget I could really drop on them is getting into those numbers ASAP. What was your most profitable pop-up and why?
That's good.
Is it duplicatable? Can you go to that same spot every single month?
Come on.
Is your audience aware of where you're going to be at? What different markets did you tap into, and what markets responded best to your product? Like,
come on, Gary.
how many pop-ups do you need to do to get that cart? Okay, we need to do 15 prop ups, that equals this profit, which will allow us to invest in this. Then we can double that. You know, like getting into that is the next stage that I think they're right there.
Yeah.
And I know it's coming.
It is.
That's some of the stuff. Yeah, I would love to see.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. No.
I'm not gonna even follow up on that. I'm gonna be honest. That was
And on that
note.
But their drink is bomb, nonetheless.
No, I was gonna
I done
say,
killed the whole thing.
You really
I told
did.
them early. Listen,
You really.
he's a matcha hater. He's a matcha hater. So this is really,
Look at him. Look at him. All right.
He's trying to find the last bit of it. I will say, what was I trying to say actually? The lost my train of thought.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
You're matching the matcha, by the way. You know.
Yeah, you know, I had to. I said green is my favorite color.
Period.
Yeah, I got some Sabz on. Hold on, I need to say this correctly. Not Sabz. Say
Sabz.
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 Sabz. My tongue is not doing that, and it's so funny because it's such a cute name. Like,
It is.
Yeah, it's such a cute name. I'm glad that they
Say
took it back home.
Say it again. Go ahead.
Sabz.
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 How many different ways are there to say this? Like,
And on that note, all right, folks.
I'm sorry, it's not them, it's me. It's clearly me. This memory. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them.
Yeah,
That was-
I think
that
they
was
did a
good.
wonderful job.
Same.
I think they did a wonderful job. All right, folks. You've heard their pitch. You've heard our discussion. And now it is your turn. If you would like to vote for Sabz Matcha, go to imgmedianetwork.com to cast your vote. Voting is open for 7 days after this episode drops, so hurry up and vote. With that said, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Wangari.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. This is Open Invite.